Hey, welcome back to the JMFG podcast. Hey guys, we back. Like I said, we took about a month and a half off. We had some deaths in the family, but now we got the family back on track. I got myself back on track. Got some much needed family time, much needed friend time, and now we back. You know, I will say thank you to everybody that sent out the condolences to the family. We really appreciate that. All the flowers, all the letters, all the cards. You have no idea what that means to me and my family. To my cousin Javante, my cousin Nate, my cousin Sally, Jar Henry, Monty, Willie Mae kids, Aline, I'm going to list them all, Lee Marvin, Sally, Beta Jean, all y'all. I just want to say my thoughts are with y'all. I've lost my mom and dad, and until somebody's lost a parent, you really don't understand it. But when you do lose a parent, you understand it real quick that, you know, if you talk to them as you're as close as a Glenn family, you realize you won't talk about loved one anymore. You won't hear their voices anymore. So I just want to send out a I love you to you guys. I miss you guys. You got my number. Anytime you need something, call me. If it's just to talk about, you know, my auntie buying stuff at a garage sale or my uncle running cows because we got terrible fences down there. Something like that right there, just call me. You know what I mean? But having said that, we about to kick off this next episode. I got my boy DJ from New York here. You know, everybody knows I'm a country boy. So I brought in the city boy, but with no other ado, I'm going to let my boy go ahead and introduce himself.
I don't do all. This is my first podcast, so I don't introduce myself as once we start speaking, then you know. But other than that, you know, nothing, no great introductions besides, you know, I'm just thankful each and every day for every experience that I have, and my family and friends, they all know who y'all are, and we just gonna do what we do.
D, I swear to God, man, I'm so glad that you came on today. So, D is actually a Corps officer.
Yeah.
I got that right?
Yeah.
Out of New York. So, I always think law enforcement, veterans, and first responders. Now I got to start thinking the Corps guys because I didn't ever think those guys because I didn't know. And can you give us a brief description of what, you know, a Corps officer is?
Court officers, like down here, you probably call them bailiffs, sheriffs, and everything. So we work directly with the court system, with the judge, clerks, and pretty much run the courthouse and are outside the courthouse. So anything in that vicinity. But you see us have the same powers, police officer powers. It's peace officer status.
Right.
But you, anything that you can do, you just don't execute warrants. Right. Everything else we do, bench warrants, arrests, or process, all that stuff we do. Okay. And it's just in a controlled environment, basically. That's
okay. It. So let's back up. Hey, everybody watching. My boy D sound like Barry White down here. D, you got a good voice, bro. I can hear him better than this right here. He's like, yeah, I got that. So I got a question. So let's back up. So you born and raised in New York?
Yes, sir.
So tell me about childhood.
Oh man, you're gonna be here for like 5 hours, man.
No, just a quick overcap. You know.
Born in Manhattan, raised in Long Island.
Okay.
Roosevelt is the city, the place.
Okay.
The love, you know, we're from the Veldt. So it's a different. It's only 1 square mile, but everybody knows each other, and it's a special place to grow up, man, because of the bonds that you have for life, man. So that's where I'm from, Roosevelt.
So that's like a community, 1 square mile, because that's not that big.
1 square mile, man. You know, it's surrounded by a lot of bigger communities. But it's a hub, man. You know, it's got some good public enemies from there. Yep. You know, Dr. J, high school there. Oh, yeah. So, you know, at Howard Stern, I know he grew up around the corner from, trying to think of some other people there.
Yeah. So y'all got a lot of celebrities out of here. Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah. So now, let's go back to Corps officer. So tell everybody, I know briefly, give me a quick synopsis of how you got your job.
Oh, man. So, it's divine, like all things, man, praising God. But what happened was an altercation, and I had gotten stabbed. Mm-hmm. So through some, we won't go into the great detail, but I had gotten stabbed. Then what happened was I ended up in court because the state picked it up as a violent crime and saying, so it was a back and forth. The guy started to say I robbed him, and that wasn't the case and everything. So state picked it up, and I'm in the courthouse, and we're on trial, and there was an officer that they were sitting in the back, and I was going to go on the witness stand, and the officer gave me an application that said that you don't seem like a bad dude, your story and everything like that. I said, okay, gave me an application, and at that I ended up taking the test, which led to just me to the job that I have now. But what happened was that I ended up working in the same building that I was in trial in maybe 10 years later. Mm-hmm. So it brought it full circle back home, man. And it was just a blessing. Yeah.
That's pretty cool right there now. And so check this out, y'all. D a pretty big boy. If y'all can't see, I ain't no big boy. But D a big boy. I would have stabbed him too, y'all. I probably would have shot him. Cause hey, go to shoot him. Go. You stab him. That might not even hurt him. You'd be like, hold on, man. You just stabbing this little crap.
Yeah.
So the guy that stabbed you, did you know him?
No, I didn't. I didn't know him. It was through. I'm not gonna go into those details.
I got you.
I didn't know him. I didn't.
Right.
Know him. It was just
like a random
incident.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have happened, but and some of it was my fault. And we always have to take ownership of some of the things.
Right. Oh,
so me thinking that I let my ego get in the way.
Oh yeah.
And I saw something I could have avoided. Probably I thought he had like a knife. I think he had some brass knuckles or something like that. So me and my ego thought that, all right, it's just brass knuckles. We're going to do what we do. I got hands. We go at it or whatever. Yeah. And then I didn't know that he had a knife. It was like 11-inch cutting knife or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's a big knife.
Yeah. And then so somebody tried to jump in the way. And then when they tried to jump in, they turned my body. And at that point, he stabbed me in my back.
Okay.
And whatever proceeded after that. But, that was how everything transcended. So
So now, have you seen this guy since?
No, one time.
Okay. How old were you when you got stabbed?
I was 19.
Okay. So the reason why I bring that up, I asked the age thing because I was just watching something, and we don't go into that as the core officer, but I was watching something on TikTok or Instagram or something the other day where those kids that broke in, I don't know if you saw it, they broke into Deion Sanders' locker room or whatever. They stole all the stuff. Well, I want to send a shout out to Primetime because he came on Instagram and he said, the kids need to be punished, but don't ruin their lives.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're 17 years old, they made a mistake.
Right.
And I know it's 17 and 19, 17. I'm still making mistakes. I'm a grown man.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I like the fact that he came on TV and he said, because Deion's got some clout right now.
Absolutely.
But he came on TV and he said, hey, the kids should be punished what they did, but let's not ruin their life. So community service or whatever we need to do to show them that, hey, you did wrong. So at 19 years old, you say you saw that guy one more time. What was that like?
It was humbling because it taught me forgiveness. The next time I ever saw him, after court dates and everything like that, but it was one of those just amazing experiences that let me know that God is real.
Yeah.
And what happened was I was going to night school at the time, and I didn't go. I said, I'm not going to class tonight. I'm going to go store or whatever, do something different. And I went into a store I never went in before. And that morning I had prayed. I was praying, the prayer seemed a little extra, more than I normally prayed. And then when I went in the store, I heard the person call my name, but I didn't know the person.
Right.
So I turned around. I was like, you know me or whatever? And he said, yeah, my name is such and such. And I said, okay, oh, you that dude. You know what I'm saying? You that dude.
I don't know if it's that dude, but you that. Yeah. It'd have been like JMFG. You that man.
Yeah. It clicked for me. It clicked. Yeah. And I was like, oh, today's the day. You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting for this.
You've been playing this.
Yeah. So, but, and I'm thinking I'm going to do something in my own power. And it didn't turn out that way. And it was like in an instant, I heard the voice of God, honestly. Yeah. And he said to me, the guy asked me for forgiveness. He said, I'm sorry. And in that moment, everything was running through my head, what I'm going to do. And God was like, yo. It was talking to me like it was a normal voice. Yeah. Like it wasn't like like that. It was just straight talking to you. It was like, didn't you ask me for forgiveness today? Like, who are you not to forgive somebody else? Yeah. It was like.
He called you out.
Called me out, man. I was just like, damn.
Hey, can't be a hypocrite.
Yeah. So it was just like, you had to extend that grace, that hand, man. Yeah. And that's what happened, and so on and so on. But it blessed me so much of that because it taught me how to forgive. Yeah. And I want to be forgiven for all the things that I've done to do. It's an ongoing cycle. You got to be able to offer people forgiveness too, man.
But here's the thing, though. Like I tell people this all the time. I try to stress this to my kids. We're all humans. We're all going to make mistakes. It's how you learn from it. I mean, because I done made them, like you just said. I want people to forgive me for the mistakes I done made. And I want people to forgive me mistakes I'm probably going to make. Yeah. Because in my eyes at the time, it feels like the right thing to do. Yeah. Just like I had one of my buddies, was arguing me down one day about I had done something. And I said, yeah, man, I'm paying it forward. I think I took like something out of something and gave it to somebody. And he's like, nah, man, I think I like took some food or something and paid for some food. I was like, yeah, man, I'm giving it to the homeless guy. He said, yeah, bro, but it's still stolen. So I'm like, yeah, man, but I'm paying that forward. He's like, I'll ask for forgiveness later, man. But it goes back to, like, I want people to forgive me if I do something wrong, or if I argue with my kids or argue with my friends. Right, wrong, and different. If I'm arguing with you, it's because I love you and I care about you. And so that whole forgiveness piece, man, is funny. Like you say, you heard God's voice. I've heard that voice before. When I know I'm getting ready to do something totally stupid, and it's usually when you're upset and mad.
Yeah.
At least mine was. And he's like, "What are you doing? What are you thinking? You do that, you going to jail."
Anything you're going to do in anger is going to be wrong.
It's going to be wrong.
You
That's
have
a
to
fact.
take that pause, man, and give yourself a minute to give you. God is going to give you a way out.
Right.
Or you're going to take it. That's the point. But you got to give yourself enough time to see the out.
Yeah.
I'm going to say more than half the time we don't.
We don't see it. We don't take, like you said, that pause. We don't take that pause to say, and this is what I try to tell my kids, you got that second, third, and fourth order of effect. You know, if I pull this gun out and I shoot somebody, that second order effect or third order effect is you're going to get arrested. And then your fourth order effect is you're probably going to go to jail for a real long time. Whereas you just put that gun down and then go do whatever you're going to do. I'd rather you throw hands and not go to jail, but, you know, or, you know, don't do violence at all, period. So let's jump fast forward now. So now you still work in New York as a corps officer.
Yeah.
What is that like for you?
Beautiful, man. You know, it's the best experience I've ever had. And, you know, I tell people I've never had a bad day at work. People are like, that's ridiculous, man. You know, I never had a bad day in a job. I mean, I'm not saying I never had a bad day. But I never had a bad day because of the job. It's allowed me to take care of my family. I've never missed anything that my kids had. You know, the time off is great. You meet some great people. I've met people that I never thought that I would be friends with. You know, like you come in with certain kind of prejudices and ideas about only people that you ever grew up with. You know, in your community, my community was all black. You know, and I've met some great people that weren't black and treated me better than my own people. You know what I mean? So you have to be open to all experiences, man. And it's taught me the people that I have in my life now, man, was supposed to be in my life. But that job has given me the opportunity to meet amazing people, go different places that I never thought I'd be, work with some amazing judges, clerks, awesome. Back office people. I shouldn't say back office people, but staff. You know, and of course, it's now forged some great friendships. Yeah.
So now, I got a question. You just mentioned judges, which that makes me think of the judicial system. And, you know, what we encounter nowadays as just like me and you, we're two young black African-American. And I'm the type, I try not to make excuses for my race. Just like I tell people, when I first got the 3rd Special Forces Group, dude, I was the only brother there for like 5-6 years. And, you know, did it bother me? Not really, because I had a job to do. And I took pride in doing my job. I said, but I look at it now and I always ask myself, like, why weren't there more brothers, you know? Like, and then I look at the way I was raised as opposed to, I got some cousins that was raised in New Jersey. I got some cousins that was raised in Florida, in Belglade, Florida. And they were, I feel like sometimes you're a product of the environment. I was raised a country boy, so I like to hunt. I like being in the woods. That's what I learned. You know, well, my cousins that was made city boys, they were on the block, you know, doing things they shouldn't have been doing. So do you think our judicial system is broken?
You about to get me in trouble.
No, I'm just kidding.
No,
like not broken,
real.
but you know what I'm saying?
But it's broke. I'm not gonna say it's broken. It's designed the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? We always say it's broken or the system's messed. No, it's doing what it's supposed to do. You know, there's different ways of enslaving people. There's different ways of crippling people. And it's intentional. I believe it's intentional. But you know, you have to also be a part of it to change it too. You know, you can't change something that you're not a part of. And you're working from the inside out. So that's how I see it. So, like when you're in the courtroom, and this is me asking, because I'm going to back up to that 19-year-old D that got stabbed, and the guy that stabbed you and asked you for forgiveness. So, he's not in jail. You're not in jail. You're doing positive things, raising your family, doing great things, kids in college. You're doing everything you need to be doing. As a father, that could have went any way. You could have been arrested, you know, went to jail forever or however long. Like when you sit in that courtroom and you see some of the things that you've seen and heard, what would you tell young black males, white males, Hispanic males, I don't care what color you are, what would you tell them if they're getting ready to do something that's stupid or, you know, I know you said take that pause, but what would you tell them? That is the biggest thing. Well, what I try to remind them is, you know, it's not the worst thing that could ever happen. You know, you could learn something from everything. But I also let them know that they look at you sometimes like you're not even human, or you're like, well, he don't know nothing. He's on that side of the fence, whatever. I said, the only reason I'm over here is because somebody prayed for me. You know, grace and mercy. You know, I could have been over there too. So you have to have that. Not everybody has it, but you need to have that mindset of like I'm here just because somebody prayed for me. And don't treat them as less than. You don't want to treat anybody as less than, because that's where you get the conflict. You know, you have I don't want to call them inmates. I call them, just people. They may be incarcerated or anything. But I've gotten a lot of respect from people I've transported back and forth to court and things like that. And they just know your energy. They know you're not there to hurt them.
Right.
So they'll just be like, yo, you cool, man. You're a good dude or whatever. And it's just because I treated them a certain way.
Right.
But when you treat them, you down anybody. The biggest thing that hurts most of it is you disrespected me.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you disrespect, they don't care who you are. Yeah. They gonna get you.
Yeah, it's time to throw hands in. Oh, yeah.
They want you, man. And I've seen people after they've gotten out and they see me in the street. Oh, you that CEO, whatever. Oh, you cool, man. You good,
That's what's up.
And I've gotten more respect. Oh, give him. He good dude, man. He good. Don't say nothing to him. Don't bother him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's good stuff, man.
So it's good, man.
But that speaks volumes of you too, who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, listen. It wasn't always like that, but you learn as you go, man. You learn.
So how are those programs like when guys go to, like when they get incarcerated or they're getting out? How are those programs? Are they actually, are there programs out there that are actually helping guys when they get out to get work? Because I feel like once you get that rap sheet or that felony rap sheet, you're stuck,
Yeah. I don't know of many programs. I mean, there's a lot of people doing work, grassroots work in different areas and everything. As far as the court system, I think that...
Let's pause for 1 second.
Oh, gosh, this camera. Sorry, 1 second.
Will you edit that out?
Okay, I don't need it anymore because it's just for the intro.
So you gonna edit that out?
Yeah, I just need the
middle camera? All right.
I don't know why it's...
Sorry about that. Go ahead, Rob.
No, we're good. As far as I would like to do something within the court system for the people that I come in contact with and have something set up, and I'm going to ask, some people, I know some good people in the court that we could probably get that started, Yeah. I'm sure they're doing it around different areas and everything. I don't know them specifically. I'm not involved with those, but you just start with the people that you come in contact with.
That's it.
Honestly, man, you give them your number, tell them to call me if you need anything, and all those things work out.
Right.
But you give them your time.
Right.
That's the most thing, and be intentional with them.
That is so funny you say that because I always tell everybody that watch the show, I ain't got no money and I got bad credit. But what I tell people, I got time. So if you need help, just like when your father-in-law, when y'all lost your mother-in-law, I remember I told Mr. Brinkley, I said, look, Mr. Brinkley, if you ever need me, you call me. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what time of day, and I'll be there. Just give me a heads up and I'll be there. Because at the end of the day, we all got time. And like you just said, if you show people that you care about them, people are going to be saying the things that they said to you. Like, hey, man, you could do, leave them alone. But I like to see those guys or girls or anybody that go into the system like that. They got to have an outlet when they get out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I got family members right now that were locked up, just got out of jail not too long ago. And it's like, what is he going to do? You mean, it's like, people are like, oh, you got to get a job. Well, once they see felony on his record, he's already got 2 strikes against him already. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude, you already hurting. Now ain't nobody going to hire you because they don't trust you. But if we can get these guys some type of skill set, and then I think, and this is my opinion, depending on what the crime is, some of these crimes, especially like when I was growing up back in the 90s, man, guys were getting 10, 15 years. I ain't going to say for nothing, but for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get out of jail, they got a felony on their record. So to them, hey, man, I can go back to jail and 3 hots in a cot.
Right.
Got a roof over my head. So it's like,
I would say one thing that we don't do as black people is therapy.
Right.
That might be the first thing you want to start with, setting up services to get all these guys some kind of therapy.
Therapy, yeah, I agree.
Because you got to sit in and figure out who you are.
Right.
And that's a big component, man. Work on your mind, work on your spirit, and get those things together before you can go any further. Because you get out without a plan or even knowing who you are at that point, you're going to do the same thing, or you can't figure it out. You don't have enough time to figure it out.
Right.
Somebody's throwing a job in your face at first, but you can't even do a job if you can't even get your mind right.
Yeah, that's true.
So the therapy is probably the biggest component of, what you need to do first. And
right. So now, having said that, everybody knows I'm prior military. What I would recommend, this is just me, just like you guys getting out of the military. I lost my identity when I first got in the military because I was JMFG. That's who I was, or that's who I thought I was. So just like you said, with therapy, get some counseling, start talking to people. You realize it's just a facade, man. It's just a nickname.
You said just something interesting right now. You said identity.
Yeah.
I have this group that I'm in. It's a prayer group that we do every week, and it's funny. So there's no coincidences, man. We call ourselves SEAL Team, right?
Yep.
And
oh God,
it's crazy.
SEAL Team. Come on
none of us. I've never been in the military.
I got that, but SF guys, we got the SEAls and the SF guys.
Oh man,
it's like,
I messed you up.
Like I love them, dude, but it's like I had a kid on the podcast trying. I want to be a Navy SEAL. I looked down, I was like, Get out right now. Just get on.
I don't want to be a Navy SEAL.
I know when you said SEAL team, I'm like, come on, man.
No, so that was the only term. I think we got it. What happened was we went to this. It was I think it was called the Men's Discipleship Network. And
Okay.
it was at Christian Cultural Center in Brooklyn.
Gotcha.
It was a long time ago, and that was one of the analogies they used at the time. So we just adopted it.
I got you.
Because of the. I'm trying to think of the word that goes along with it, but it was just being able, brothers having their
It's that camaraderie.
camaraderie, and what we learned, biblical principles, and how we try to adopt them into our lives, and that's where we came from. But you said identity. We were talking about that 2 weeks ago, identity, and we struggle with that. And there was a verse that one of my boys sent me, and we talked about identity. What is your true identity?
Right.
We don't even know it. We attach it to our jobs. Like I'm an officer, I'm military.
Yep.
That's not really your identity.
That's not you. Yep.
Your identity is, I'm a husband or a father. Those things that you're going to always be.
Yep.
I might not always have this job,
right?
But I'm a black identity. I'm a black man.
I'm a black man.
You're not escaping that.
Yep.
So your identity is, you could say I'm a Christian. I'm a Muslim. I'm one of the things. Those are identities too,
right?
But the jobs, the first thing somebody asks you is which identity. Oh, I'm an officer.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really carry the weight that it's supposed to.
And we're hurting ourselves with that.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a title.
Yeah.
I call a police back. Yeah, I need to speak to D. They're like, oh, what's his title, sir? I'm like,
right.
I don't know what his title is. Just let me talk to him.
Right.
And I think with the whole identity piece, at least I can speak for myself. It cost me my marriage, some of my relationship with my kids. I had to rebuild because when I found out I was retiring, I was just on a downhill spiral, bro. Because I was just like, man, what am I gonna do? Who am I? Because that's who I was. I was JMFG. You're the man. You can do anything. And then all of a sudden, I realized I was going to retire. Man, it was like, whoa, like, all right. So I didn't have a purpose no more. But like you just said, I actually had a purpose. I had an identity. I was a father. I was a husband. I was all these things that the military, all that is just, that's a job. But in that line of work, like I was saying earlier, you make up 0.001%. So the way we describe it is, I'm in the NFL, I'm in the MLB, I'm in the NBA. You made it to the big leagues. You know what I mean? Just like with SEALs, we all made it to the big leagues. So when you got that identity of being, I guess, a rock star, and now all of a sudden, I tell people, I'm just going to Walmart. I'm just an average guy. Well, I'm getting a T-shirt that says I'm a fag. I'm a former action guy. Because that's what I am, a former action guy. I don't do any more action. I'm just, all the action I did, I jumped out of a plane with my daughter for her 18th birthday. But other than that, I ain't doing any running and gunning no more. So guys lose their identity. Or they think that's their identity, but they lose that, I guess I would call it a reputation is what it is. You use that reputation. So like you just said with the counseling, I think that these guys that are getting ready to get out, say they're incarcerated and they got 6 months, 4 months, 2 months. That's when I think you start the whole, hey, let's get these guys some counseling, let's get these guys some identity, and then start throwing in some type of workmanship or workman comp or whatever in there. So guys start learning a trade, I guess.
Yeah. And that's the after effect, really, because if you think about it, you got to start way before that.
Oh, yeah.
The therapy that your kids, I shouldn't say everybody needs therapy to a certain degree. At a certain point, you might.
Right.
But the work that we do with our kids is the real therapy.
Oh, yeah. That's it. I agree.
That's where it really starts, man. Breaking down those strongholds that we have in our mindset of what a man is supposed to be, what a woman is supposed to be, the roles and everything like that. Yeah. That's where we really start. You know, like you have a son. I got 2 sons, and my oldest son, I see the mistakes that I made in him, and I've done better with my youngest son because of where I was in life. I was older when I had my second son. I was, I was married at that time, and I was taught to stop telling your son that, stop telling your son that. But I only knew it from one way. The whole crying, stop doing this, stop doing that.
But that's what we learn. Don't be. You got to be hard.
Man, you better not.
Yeah, you better not be soft.
But when I was told to let him express himself, because if he doesn't, he's going to express it another way. Yeah. And it might not be today. Yeah. It might be 15 years from now, but he's still going to come out while he's married or while he's something else. He's going to let all that rage out. And I found myself a product of that, being that kind of way, because I kept everything inside, man, and just like that kettle just ready to blow. Yeah. But that's what we do, though, man. And I think all men do this, not just black men, but we are, as a strong black man, you got that reputation, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I am, and you got that ego, and you got all that pride, you know what I mean? Like, I'm proud to be a black man. Like, I want to set the path. I want to do this, I want to do that. But I think it even, like you just told me, I think it even goes back further to,
like our fathers' fathers, like what they taught them. Like, dude, my grandfather, Asbury Glen, was hard as woodpecker lips, bro. So, of course, that's how my dad was taught.
Right.
And, you know, my kids tell you, man, granddad didn't play, bro.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so I was taught, like, you be hard, you don't cry. I remember falling on my bike one time and just tore the skin completely off my legs. Like, what you crying for? Like, dude, the skin's hanging off my leg. Like, I'm just crying because it's hurting.
Right.
Like, he didn't let me show that emotion. So, you know, you sniff it up, you walk off, I'm tough. No, you're not, you're dumb, dude.
Right,
you know, cry. And then that's why I'm a strong believer in, I think it takes a 2-parent household.
Absolutely.
Where you can go to the man and let him talk, you know, and then you can go to mama and let mama get that little bit of sympathy. Like, hey, go see your mama. Mm-hmm. And my dad used to say that, like, hey, go see your mama. Like, I hurt my leg, I'm sitting there, why are you crying? Go and talk to your mom if you're going to cry. Yeah. And that's exactly what he told me. Like, I remember running to my mom, Mama, look at my legs. She's like, oh my God, what happened to you? You know, mama trying to wrap it up. And dad's like, oh, it ain't broke either. It's just no skin. And I'm like, but, you know, it all goes back to, like we were saying, you know, it's that part of your environment, where you came from, how you was raised, how that principle was raised.
But it's survival. It's a survival skill that we have to have. We've always had to have, you know, being here and things that we have to face every day, man. It's survival, man. Like, you know, guys are going just testing the game with their hands, you know. You always got to be the toughest on the street because you don't want nobody messing with you. So it might be more of an insecurity than it is anything else.
Exactly.
Like, I got to show these dudes I got hands so they don't mess with me. Yeah. You know, so that could be part of it too, man. Because
if you were secure, you wouldn't care. You'd be like, all right, dude, if it comes to me, I'll take care of it.
Right.
Yeah. And as I've gotten older, I feel like that now. Like, it used to be where you walk around, you Green Beret, like we went looking for trouble. But as I got older, I realized I would tell my guys.
Way, man. I'm going the other way, man.
No, yeah, but now it's like, nah, dude, I don't even be a part of that. I go about my business, and if it comes to me, I deal with it. If it don't, I don't even have to worry about it, bro.
Right.
Because I got a buddy of mine, actually, because I like riding horses, too. I got a couple horses I ride in endurance races. We're going to definitely keep in touch, bro, because that's something I like to see, because that's something that's easy where, like a horsemanship. I watched a movie the other night. I'll get you the name of it. I didn't watch all of it. But they introduced inmates to horses. Because a horse has got that fight or flight instinct, but he's also got that instinct where he's got to build trust. And it's almost like humans, you know what I mean? So if you've been incarcerated for a while, just like I tell my guys, when we deploy, we're incarcerated, dude. I don't care what nobody say. You know what I mean? Unless we're out on missions, we're at our fire base, we're locked in there, you can't go nowhere, you know what I mean? And then when you do leave, it's, you know, you're going to get it home. Right. So it's like you leaving to go put yourself in harm's way, and then you coming back and you basically in jail for those 6 months. So when guys get back stateside, commanders always wonder why guys are getting in trouble, getting DUIs, you know, getting domestic violence calls. You've had them locked up for 6 months. So I can imagine these guys been in jail for, you know, years and years and years, and now you want to turn that guy loose and say, all right, dude, now you got freedom. Right. Just like my guys. I went to bat for a couple of my guys that got DUIs. I'm like, hold on, sir. We ain't messing up this guy's career. Right. When he's done everything he needed to do for his country, now he comes back home, you gonna tell him he can't go have a beer? He goes and have 1 or 2 beers and now he drives home. Granted, I don't want to put nobody's life in danger, but you finna ruin this guy's career because you've had him locked up for 6 months. God forbid if he got hurt, shot, killed, or so his buddies get killed. Now he's just trying to drink away his sadness, and now you're gonna ruin his career.
Because you didn't provide him the proper resources.
You didn't provide him the resources, man. That's exactly what it, bro. Just like I'm trying to go back to third group for guys that are getting out and just speak to them. Just to tell guys, look, dude, your identity is not your name. Right. You know what I mean? That's not who you are. Just like I tell people, my military career was a stepping stone to get me to wherever it is I'm going in life. But I realize that now. You know, ex-wife later and, you know, ruining some of my kids' high school days of just being angry at the world because it wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. Right. You know, it's like a spoiled brat, dude. I'm like, man, I'll just go in the room and pop. Like, no, dude, go out there and figure out what you need to do, you know, because there's life after this. Just like with those guys, there's life after that. So I definitely I got a couple buddies one of my buddies, he owns a Mustang school here in Pinehurst. And he does a lot with veterans, man, just letting veterans come out and work with horses for like 5 days, dude. It just blows your mind, man. Because once you build that trust with anybody, once you build that trust with the horse, man, it's something that it's just amazing, bro. I
think animals in general.
They just
have that dogs. You know, I always saw that pit bull and parole show. The trust of the dog, man, and stuff. So I believe it.
Yeah. So if you can, I don't know, man, just something like that. Just something to get guys, like you say. I think as soon as, and this is me talking, I think as soon as a guy come into the military, or as soon as he go get incarcerated or get in jail, counseling should start right there for him.
Day one.
Like, where do you see yourself Like you got a short-term plan and you got a long-term plan. Where do you see yourself? If you got 2 years, where do you see yourself in 6 months? Where do you see yourself in a year? Where do you see it 18 months? Where do you see yourself in 2 years? Mm-hmm. That way that kid comes in there with, hey, dude, I'm here for 2 years. I'm getting me a 2-year degree. Mm-hmm. Whether it's in general studies or whatever. And now your counselor meet with him every quarter.
But we have to be careful with that. When you were saying that, I was like, those were one of the questions, people ask you, where you see yourself in 5 years? Where you And I was watching someone white one day, and he was like, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. You know what I mean? So you have to give them time. Sometimes you have to give them time to even process. Just give them ideas and give them options. Yeah. And it'll come as you go.
As you go, yeah.
But if you want to tell somebody right now, well, if you don't have it figured out today, you're going to fail.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's dangerous too.
You set them up for failure.
Yeah, you're like, you got to have a 5-year plan right now.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what am I eating in 5 minutes? You know what I mean? So it could be.
I keep getting hungry.
Yeah. I plan to eat in this next 5 minutes, and then I'll figure out the rest. But so
exactly.
You got to give them time, man, and build up. One of the biggest things is also consistency.
Right. Yep.
You got to be consistent with somebody and show up all the time. You tell them I'm coming this day, and you don't show up, it broke everything down already. Yep. Especially with people have struggled with those kind of things, man, identity and all those things. Well, this guy said he's going to show up tomorrow. I didn't show up. I ain't trying. I ain't trying. Going back in my hole or whatever you want to call it. The time, and I'll figure it out myself.
That's what I tell my kids, man. Your word, when I was growing up, you probably heard it. Your word is bond. Yeah. My dad used to tell me all the time. You tell me, man, you're gonna do something. That's what you're doing. Just like I done told you, hey, Mr. Brinkley, I'll be better tomorrow night. I showed Mr. Brinkley it's 10 o'clock before. He's like, who that is? I was like, hey, it's me, Mr. Brinkley. It's 10 o'clock. John, I was like, hey, I told you I was gonna stop by. So,
but isn't that situational? Like, I had a talk with some brothers about word is bond, and we did a little talk on it. And it's based on situations too.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
it is.
Okay, you younger and you 19 away. Word is bond is everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm dying for my dude and everything like that.
That's
and I'm 30. I'm like, no, I'm not done.
I ain't done for you, man.
I give you my word, that I'll be there for you. But don't put me in a situation that I'm going to have to do that. You know what I mean? I'm going to show up for your family. I'm going to do the things I need to do for you. Yeah. But if you out there sticking people up and everything, you're like, where's bond? You come with? No, I'm not. But you promised me. No. So it has to be situational as you mature. You grow and say 30, 40, 50, you're like, you said you was, bro, I was 19 years old. You holding me to that?
Yeah, my word now is to my kids.
Yeah, my word is bond to my family.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
If you're going to put me in that situation then and you feel some kind of way about it, then we can't roll.
Yeah, well, first off, we ain't friends if you're going to put me in that situation.
Right, and that's what a true friend is.
That's what a true friend is.
Like, we think our friends is a person that you're going to die for and do everything for, but a friend is the one that won't put you in that situation.
Yeah, he shouldn't put you in that situation.
And I've done that to, one of my right-hand man. I had to apologize to him many times because I put him in a situation that he shouldn't have been in. Right. But he was always there.
We always did. Yep.
But when does that apology come and say, dang, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that to you. I shouldn't have put you in that situation. Yeah. That's where this is stronger.
It's as we get older, man. So for all the younger kids out there, young males watching podcasts and females, I consider us like, I remember my dad, I looked at him like, man, you old heads. Now we the old heads, right?
Listen, you see this?
Oh, yeah.
I call it, this is my moniker and everything. This is not great. It's called light black. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, y'all still out. We got a fat now.
Nobody use that.
We got a fat now.
This is light black.
I like that, man.
I earned every one of these light blacks, man.
That's good, man. I like it, man.
I earned every one of them, man.
I like it.
A lot of them were painful.
Yeah.
But I understand them.
But that's what makes you the man that you are, man. And now you passing that knowledge down.
I pray so.
Each one teach one, man.
I pray so, man.
Yeah, you are, bro. You are. That's why I can say I'm glad to have you on the podcast because I can see. I'm trying to get my boy D to move back to North Carolina if y'all didn't know. So, hey, any of y'all know anybody in law enforcement? Hey, he's trying to wait and retire. We going to speed that process up.
Hey, listen, man. I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be.
Hey, that's it, bro. That's it. That's it.
God takes me.
And wherever he takes you, it'll be the right place, bro.
That's right.
But keep doing what you're doing, bro. I love what you're doing. You reaching out, you touching people. We trying to do the same thing here. And everybody that knows just making families greater one story at a time. We just had my boy D on the JMFG podcast from New York. Glad you're here, bro.
Glad to be here.
I think you got an exceptional story. So hey, we gonna bring D back again. He think he getting away, but he coming back again
because we gonna touch on some interesting.
Look, we ain't even touched. Y'all think I'm interested? This guy right here, just hearing some of his stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I got to get you on the podcast because. We ain't even touched on his childhood, being adopted and all. That's a whole nother room. That's a whole nother room. We ain't gonna touch on it today, but that's a whole nother room, bro. Because there's so many kids out there now that I feel like just you sharing stories of where you came from and where you at now, bro. Yeah. You think about it, man. Like when I hear kids say, "No, it's the system holding me down." Well, I look at you, bro. The system ain't holding you down. You kept climbing, and you're still climbing.
You know, it's. I always say, man, you have to believe in something bigger than yourself. Whatever you want to call it, I call it God, because that's what I believe. Because my experience dictated that. You know, you have to go with your experiences.
Oh yeah.
You know, you can't tell me that. You know, people say they believe in this and that, but I know I believe in who spoke to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's all that matters.
For me to deny that would be to deny myself.
Right.
You know, so when we talk about the adoption thing coming up, man, it's going to be very powerful, because I watched the movie I watched was Antoine Fisher, man.
That's a great movie.
And it broke me down to, listen,
that was a great movie.
I tell you, that was my story. I'll say, if I could have just, I don't want to act, because I can't act, you know what I'm saying? But Dirk Luke did an amazing job.
But you got the voice though, bro. You got the voice though, bro. You have no idea. Look at my editor right there. How's his voice? Hey, how's his voice? Come on. Dude, I got to get you back on just for the voice, man.
He did an amazing job.
Did.
And that was my story to the team. I'm not going to say everything, you know, I wasn't abused to that extent, but there's different types of abuse.
Right, exactly.
There's, you know, you search for unconditional love.
Oh, yeah.
And all those kind of things that you need to understand why you do the things you do.
Right.
And the generational patterns and stuff. And, you know, that movie was amazing, man. Like,
it was.
That's my story to the T. When I tell you, man, they owe me money. They owe me money for that movie, man, because, like, the same thing that happened in the movie happened to me.
That's
I found
awesome,
both of my parents. You know, my biological parents, I found them, man, and the welcome home and everything. So we'll get back to the next.
We're going to get into that. Hey, look here.
Man,
everybody stay tuned, because I'm definitely bringing. Hey, next time you come back, dude, we got to have you on, bro.
All praises due.
But I got to say, man, I appreciate you being here, bro.
Well,
that was awesome, man. I appreciate that, bro.